Everything my dog and I need to survive for 4 days on the river is inside this pack raft. We've traveled south to Montana and we're going to be paddling for 60 miles over whitewater rapids, camping, and I've never done this before. Luckily, I'm joined by my friend Rachel from the channel Sunray and her dog Fado. Okay, now we can go. A bit nervous, but let's do this. I'm excited. I am so new to pack rafting and whitewater rapids. I'm trying to read the water and avoid the rocks. That is my main goal here. There's only going to be about class 1 or 2. I know it's nothing we can't handle, but we do want to avoid rocks because that's what's going to pull us under. We can only camp on the right side of this river because the left side is actually Glacier National Park and there's no dogs allowed in any national parks in the US, so. Okay, I see an opening between these two rocks here. Whitewater to the right, whitewater to the left. Hero is being such a good boy. We did it! This is my first time pack rafting. I'm really glad to not be doing this trip solo. There's a bit of a learning curve when it comes to pack rafting with a dog. Some of the things you have to look out for. Setting up the pack raft itself, you have to make sure you have everything you need behind you. You have to make sure it's strapped and accessible, bear spray, any emergency gear, food, because once you unzip this pack raft, it's going to deflate. Every little bit of energy that you're using to blow it up again, you know, it goes against how many miles you can get done in a day. It also just takes time. We have 60 miles. We've got a truck at either end. We don't have a choice. We can't go against the current. We have to get to the other truck. And we only have so many days to complete it, so. All of our camping stuff. I learned a lesson today. You're better off wearing trail runners and getting them soaked versus wearing sandals, because if you fall off, the white water is taking you for a ride. And you want a really grippy shoe. Hello. Camp tonight is this little barge. There's even a fire ring pit, but there's not another soul out here. It feels so remote. Well, I guess it is really remote. Here's hoping I have all my tent pegs. I have not camped without my rainfly in forever. I double applied sunscreen and I'm still so burnt. That water really reflects the sun. For dinner tonight, I have 4 options for home dehydrated meals, but I'm still going with my emergency store-bought Mediterranean pork. It just tastes different when someone else makes it for you. Uh-oh, I think my striker's broken. Mediterranean pork, we're gonna rate it at scale of 1 to 10. In terms of compared to my homemade dehydrated meals, I'd give it a 7.5, but compared to store-bought, and they're supposed to be better, I'd give it a 6.5. I would buy it again though. I feel like that's not a nice rating.
Palm oil, potassium hydroxide.
Socks got wet. No, that was worth it. It's the most beautiful sunset right now. We found some wood. It looks a bit wet, but we're gonna try and start a fire. Gotta find a little bit more kindling and things like this. Just on the ground, dry leaves, little sticks. A lot of the time, all of the new growth is visible, so you don't think there's any dead wood. And dead wood is what burns. But if you look at the base, these are dead branches at the bottom of this bush. And the reason is, of course, because all the moisture is gone from those dead branches, so they'll light a fire better. I did bring some birch bark that's been dried out, so you can use that as, yeah, you can use that as fire starter. My tried and true cotton balls with petroleum jelly. It helps to spread apart the cotton a little bit, and you really want it soaked in that petroleum. It's about 9:40 at night right now, and it's this bright out, which makes me so happy. But we are in Grizzly country, so we're gonna hang all of our food, deodorant, any type of toiletry. Typically, you'd want it on a branch hanging there so that bears can climb the tree, but they can't reach your food. But it's all just little baby trees here. Good night, Kiro. Good morning. Because we're next to the river, I think there's a layer of condensation on everything. It's a black bear? Oh, it's Photo. Look at this. Got this little instant coffee. That coffee is so good. I have my bear bag. I don't keep all my food accessible during the day. Kind of just packed a lunch. This is Kiro's food. Pack of tuna. You can't get these in Canada. I found these once I crossed the border into the States, so Buff Bar crackers to go with the tuna, and they've got flax seeds and stuff to help you stay a little regular. Baby carrots and an apple. You always want to make sure you pack out the core, so my little lunch bag is my garbage bag. The morning light coming over the mountains, I just love waking up here. Scrolling is not an option, there's no service, and I just feel so brain dead when I pick up my phone first thing in the morning. Your morning business is not something I talk about on this channel often, but when you're in a fragile ecosystem, like on a riverbank, some call it a wag bag. That's just a brand name. You can get different versions of these. There is a powder in here, a deodorizer. It's double bagged, and yeah, you gotta do your business in a bag. Typically when you're in the backcountry, you'd have a trowel, you'd dig a hole, and then do your business. When you're on a river, there's often just beaches and not a lot of space. So if it's a populated area and even 5 people every day are doing it, you're gonna dig up someone else's business, or it could seep into the water system. And then what do you do with the bag? Put it in your Packraft and you carry it out. Luckily, this is not a populated area and there is a ton of forest. Who wants to run? Go! Go! This is the back of the boat. That's the front. You want to put the lightest stuff towards the front. This is my sleeping bag in a waterproof compression sack. The one side is definitely more awkward to get stuff into.
Yeah.
You can see there is some cracking in the seal. I didn't catch that yesterday when I blew it up for the first time. So you want to make sure your bag is not poking through and just go nice and slow. Ah! The electric pump can only pump this up so far. The rest you have to do by manual. What if I was solo, Rachel? And we're off day 2. Our goal is about 20 miles. Yesterday we did a warm-up for about 3 hours of paddling, but today I think my skills are really going to be tested. Oh my god. Holy, good job, honey.
How was that?
There's a lot of water in my boat. Those are big, but it wasn't too long. These are big too. Sit. Kiro! Oh god! Oh god! Wow! Wow! Good boy, Kiro. Not gonna lie, I was pretty scared through those. Rachel and I think they were class 3. They weren't too long and there were no rocks. Kiro took it like an absolute champ. Wow, what an adrenaline rush. But Kiro's safe and that is the most important thing. If we see rapids that look too dangerous, we will let the dogs out and they'll run along the side. That's how I like to see Kiro chillin'. Pulled over. We're about a quarter of the way done our paddling for the day. We gotta open up the boats and get our dry suits out. We kind of need like a plan of attack.
We really tried our best.
Kiro is like ready to go.
Yeah, buddy.
We are ready to hit the river again. And it just started raining, so we're gonna play it by ear. We might have to stop early and not complete our 20 miles, but hopefully these dark clouds pass over. This is one of the coolest places you could paddle in total remoteness. We did see some larger rafts pass through, and those guys just float right over top of the rapids. So I've been putting sunscreen on nonstop, and I have a hat, but it's been windy, so you gotta watch out for the wind burn. This is just from the wind. And it is pretty sore to the touch. Keep that in mind. Here we go. Rock-a-bye, baby, on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. Oh, he's a surfing dog now. He took that one standing up. We're averaging about 4 miles per hour, and we've got about 8 more miles to go until we hit our target. So 2 more hours of paddling. Wow, look at that mountain. Got this view and I'm not sure what's ahead, but it looks like we hit our hardest rapids at the very start of the day. I was a little bit worried at Kiro's reaction, but he's chilling now. I'm actually kind of glad we got the hard part out of the way. We've paddled through an area that was a lot more remote, and now it's the bridge that enters into Glacier National Park. So we're seeing a few people here. It is Saturday. We're gonna pass through here, hopefully get away from the entrance of the park and get back into the remote wilderness so we can find a camping spot. Going. Whoa! Oh! Oh yeah.
Good campsite. It's up to you.
We're done for the day. We found camp. I'm really glad we decided to put our dry suits on, but I am a little warm now that we're not on the water. I'm gonna go for a swim. So we did 27 kilometers or 20 miles. Paddle time, 5 hours. How did I get 4,500 steps? And how did I only burn 700 calories? Are you kidding me? My socks are dry as a bone. I love that thing. Big shout out to Coco Pelli for sending us these rafts. They are incredible. We got the Nirvana self-bailing. If you have a dog and you're going over White Rapids, which is probably not a lot of you, but get self-bailing. After everything's out, I close it up so that no bugs or water get in there throughout the night. So I'm gonna try my homemade chili mac, white cheddar macaroni, dehydrated with some added tomatoes in there. Oh, and dehydrated beef. Honestly, I made this a year ago and I forget the directions, but I think I boil it for 2 minutes and then let it sit for 10 minutes. Get the big rocks out of here. And the whole sleeping bag was so, like the top of it was so wet. Okay, this is gonna make me lightheaded. This is my first international trip of the year and I needed a solution to use my phone data across the border. I want to give a huge shout out to Saley for sponsoring today's video and for helping with this problem. I've used Saley before and even shared it in a past video, but it's the perfect eSIM solution to use your data in another country. Out here, I don't have any service, but initially when I crossed the border, I had to meet up with Rachel and I had to let everyone know, okay, I'm gonna be out of service for 4 days. Don't call the police. I'll be home, except if I'm not home by Tuesday. Send someone. An eSIM is a digital option that you can use when you go to a new country instead of getting a physical SIM card. You just download the Saley app directly to your phone and you can set it up in minutes. You don't have to wait in line at the airport or go to questionable vendors and worry about setting it up when you get there. All you have to do is select the country you want your data in and select the plan. Enter code Clydesdale at checkout for an extra 15% off, but make sure you activate it before you get to your destination country. You could do it on Wi-Fi, but if you have to rely on your data, you want to make sure that you have the data once you land there. With Saley, you'll have affordable data plans in over 160 countries. They offer global and regional plans, making it perfect if you're hopping around. The app works for iOS and Android. It is so simple, and thank you again if you use my code and supporting the channel, and thank you to Saley. Okay, now back to the river trip. Hero is hearing something in the bushes. It sounds like an animal. He won't stop looking at the window. He was just dead asleep for hours. Come here. Good boy. I think it's an elk. I don't know if it's the season for that, but it doesn't sound like a bear. But it's setting him off and it's howling in the distance. Good morning, day 3 on the river. Cuff time. Today's breakfast, eggs in a bag. We're just enjoying our little morning river before we have to do another 20 miles. It's our last long day. We want to push through to camp so that we only have, what is it, like 8 miles on the last day? Mm-hmm. That has class 3 sprinkled through it, so we want to be nice and fresh for tomorrow on our last day. So, but who knows what we'll run into today because the water levels change throughout the year. So you can read all the online reports, but the water could change once you get there. This is today's lunch. I really enjoyed my tuna pack, so I'm doing 2 of those just in case. One of these tuna packs is 19 grams of protein. Not a ton of calories though, but that's why I pair it with crackers. On some crackers, chickpeas for extra protein, 2 chomp bars. I'm gonna stock up on these before I go back to Canada, and an apple, and that should get us all the way to about 6 or 7. And for Kiro's food, I'm bringing freeze-dried food. It's basically freeze-dried chicken. He's a very picky eater and he's not gonna eat his kibble midday, so if he needs a little extra protein, he'll definitely eat that. Clothes bag. sleeping bag, sleep kit. We've got tent and sleeping pad and pillow. You want to make sure your weight is evenly distributed so that your paddles you're able to steer the boat straight. Even though it's 30 degrees, which is, I don't know, like 90 degrees Fahrenheit, these dry suits, as soon as we hit the water, it does get cold and it helps holding Kiro in with my legs so much. I have a bunch of scratches on my thighs from him sitting on my lap. So I just feel like we're so much more protected with these dry suits. These are my favorite trail runners and I have abused them in the water. Kiro, in the boat! Good boy. This boat needs air big time, look at that. The boat was not pumped up enough. As soon as it hits cold water, it deflates, and mine was already not pumped up enough, so the electric pump only gets it so far. Then you have to mouth pump it up. It was the least deflated it's ever been, and pretty quickly it wasn't even enough air for Kiro's paws, so he fell in, but we just put in at that beach there, so it was really shallow water, not too strong current, and he was a really good strong swimmer. But that is probably my least favorite thing about these things is you have to pump with your mouth so hard. Like, oh man, my boat was basically underwater, but now I feel like I'm way above the water, so we're good. So that's called a strainer, as Rachel taught me. It's when the trees get caught up, and you do not want to get caught in one of those. The current will put you under the trees and you'll get stuck. We've got a big strainer on the left, so the current's pushing us right into it, so this is where you got to put in some paddling power to stay right of those big logs, 'cause that's dangerous. One thing I've learned is your body weight is so important. If I slightly lean to the left, we're turning, which adds another dynamic when you have a dog on board. Right now, he's standing on the edge, so we're leaning right. But when we go through big waves, he sits right down in between my legs and is pretty straight, and that really helps. Also, I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but please do not do this by yourself if you're an absolute beginner. My dog's safety is my absolute most important priority. I know he's a strong swimmer, I know my abilities, and I'm also with someone who is experienced, so. It looks like this forest burnt down at one point because you can see tall sticks, burnt crisps, and it's either been replanted or it's regrowing, but it's a beautiful thing to see. It's so hot, it's time for a swim and a lunch break, I think. Maybe you should keep it on. No, we'll get it off. Here. Okay. Okay, way easier.
So I'm not crazy. It's like, it's really tight.
It's tight.
Okay.
Ow.
Get away in! You Canadian! It is icy cold.
Pick me up at the end. gotta avoid the rocks over there. Good boy! You didn't even have to sit down for that one. Going through a little bit of a rapid pool here. Gotta hit the waves nose on. Sit! Okay, he's still standing. We've got a big one coming up. Woohoo! That was easy! We are at our last campsite of this trip. We're really close to the rapids at the end. We've got about 8 miles left tomorrow. Oh my gosh, that's from the spandex on the dry suit. Wow, spandex rubbing up against my neck. I was feeling really good, and then as soon as we stopped, it hit me how tired I am. I'm eating one of my dehydrated meals. It's chili with beans and rice. On a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of homemade meals, I'd give it a 7.1. I only filled up the water to about there. The trick is don't put onions in it so that your dog can finish it, clean it out, and then you just use some biodegradable soap to clean the dog germs, but you don't have to worry about leaving any food scraps behind. Tomorrow is our biggest rapids yet, and a storm is rolling in right now overnight, so hopefully it passes through by the morning. It started to rain, and it's about 8 o'clock. It being dark and eerie is not helping my fear for tomorrow. I am pretty nervous. All I have to say is it smells really bad in here. Normally we hang our clothes on a line to dry, and now I've got stinky socks trying to dry out so that they don't have to go in my bags. And my shirt that I've been wearing for 4 days. I love being out here though. Honestly, I love it. I am so grateful it did not do this to us during the day. And it's 8:30 at night. I'm gonna put on an audiobook. I'm gonna chill with Kira and I'm gonna listen to the rain. Today's the day we're supposed to take our dogs on class 3 rapids, and I'm not feeling good about it. My lips are burnt from being on the water. We're kind of close to a road right now. I had a bad dream about it. I don't know. I'm gonna talk to Rachel and see how she feels. This has been our setup. The quilt is buttoned down. So it's just a quilt, it's not a sleeping bag. And then I unbutton it on this side so that Kiro can have some on his foamy. This is my new favorite setup for us. Making an extra special good coffee this morning. I mixed my instant coffee with some vanilla latte. We're gonna need a strong one for today. I've had this tent for over 3 years now, I think, and it's just holding on to all the water. I need to give it a good spray of waterproofing. People recommend to do that like after every season, and I've never done it, and it's just holding on to so much water. For the sake of this guy specifically, but I just have a gut feeling.
I woke up with a gut feeling also that I think we are deciding to not go through these class 3 rapids today. We anticipated making this decision, so it's not like a complete surprise, but
it's just not sitting right with me, and I told Rachel, and apparently you were thinking the same thing. Basically, the root of the problem for me is that I've never seen them before. It rained last night. It's super windy. That means the water is going to be at a higher level. It's going to be a little bit more dangerous. It's still super windy. Yeah, I as much as I hate to bail, I think it's the right decision.
I just woke up and I was like, I feel responsible for you guys' safety. I'm like, I don't want to traumatize them. I feel like we've had like such an amazing trip.
Yeah.
We've had like a full days on the river. It's been so great. Nothing has gone wrong. It's just been amazing. And I'm like, I don't want to risk ending the trip on a bad note.
Yeah. Rachel invited me on this trip, and it's been so amazing. I've learned so much from these two, and it's been such a nice change of pace to have a strong female to adventure with.
Oh,
so
stop.
thank you.
Oh my gosh, same. A little background. I've invited Madison on a lot of trips, and this one she finally said yes. So I was really excited because I wanted to meet her for so long, because I've binge her videos all the time,
and same. You gotta, if you're on live video, you gotta watch hers. And now Rachel has to go on her own adventure and hitchhike and get us a ride to our truck.
Yeah.
We walked the road and Rachel got picked up. I waited there with her, but I'm not gonna, it's a lot to put 2 people and 2 dogs in a car, so I kind of hid back so they didn't think they had to pick up all of us. And I'm gonna wait at the campsite, and hopefully she's back in about an hour. And that wraps up this video. That was an epic trip. I had so much fun. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.